Oh my goodness. Did you just say, I'm sorry, before you told someone how much it costs to work with you, or before you sent them the invoice of, I'm sorry, could I send you the invoice? Or I'm sorry, it costs this much. Did you have your knee-jerk, I'm sorry, sneeze of the day in your business, in the organization? Did you, I'm sorry, while you were out speaking to people about the work that you offer? How dare you? Could you? Now, this episode 22 of the Wake Up Women Leaders podcast, is all about getting you to price your worth without the apology. No, stop it. Daddy, oh my God.
Don't get yourself, Victoria.
Oh gosh, what are we looking at today? Tell us.
We are looking at how to price without an apology, how to think about your price, how to communicate your price, how to even set your price so that it doesn't require an apology, and not because it's so low, but because it makes so much sense. So we're talking about really stepping in confidently to your pricing structure and your communication around that. And this honestly has so much more to do with you and your mindset around the price that you set than any like magical, strategic, or structural something that you put into place. We see this a lot, especially with women in two places. One, starting out in a new in their new business as a novice in perhaps a particular field, or maybe they're super expert in their field, but they've always worked for someone else and now they're working for themselves. These transition points can definitely kind of unsettle a person who was otherwise confident in their ability and their value that they're bringing to the table. So, are you ready to dig in?
Oh, 100%. I'm so excited. But first, who are you and why are you talking to me?
I'm coming to you here from your lovely computer, your Spotify, your radio, wherever you happen to be playing. I'm Nettie Owens. I am the founder and executive coach at the Sapari Group, where I help executive women, entrepreneurs, and leaders to reach their goals in a way that is uniquely their own, using their own system of success, and doing so without burning out, and all that jazz. I've been working with women leaders now for over 2 decades. I absolutely love this work. And it's more important now than ever that we recognize that we work a little differently as women. And there's ways that we can really lean into that and amplify what we're doing and help us change the world through our work. How about you, Victoria?
Well, Sensei Victoria Whitfield. Sensei means teacher in Japanese because that is my background as a teacher. I'm your friendly local Reiki master turned spiritual business coach. And I've been doing this for 16 years so far, full time, honored and happy to make a living wage all that time as someone offering her services to others. I'm happy to share that. I founded the Be Visionary movement, where I help impact-driven leaders to embrace strategic meditation to help increase their income and impact. And you can find us at strategicmeditation.com. This topic, you and I both, because we specialize in serving women business owners, we see all the time. And this idea, before we, went on just now, we were talking about how the idea of charging your worth itself is a load of crap. Could you like it's a crap shoot. It's a shoots and
Yes.
ladders. It's gonna take you down rather than up. Tell us,
Oh my
Nettie.
goodness. Oh my goodness. Yeah. We see it a lot. And maybe you even clicked on this particular episode because you were thinking, oh my gosh, I'm not charging what I'm worth. I need to charge what I'm worth. It's just this catchphrase. And honestly, I cannot stand it because with love, there is no monetary value that equals what you're worth. You are a wonderfully and uniquely made individual that's here for a purpose to serve, to change the world, to create something new. And there is truly no dollar amount that's going to make sense here. So I would love if you extract that phrase just from your vocabulary, and then we can dig in to charging for the value that you provide, charging for your expertise, charging for your experience or the skill set that you've been trained on, charging for the value that the customer might receive from their work with you. But this idea that there's any amount that could encapsulate the wonder that is you. And hold on there, because I almost feel you changing the dial on me. Just hold up. There's so much about pricing that is a mindset issue and not a structural, how do we come up with the bits and pieces that make up the number? We can talk about that, but first we really need to address this mindset issue. And it's not just this phrase of, what are you worth? But there's other stuff that goes into it. And even asking that question off the top of, why aren't you charging what feels right to you right now? If you came in here, my guess is something's off with how you're pricing, or you're not quite sure how to price. So why is that? And what's getting in the way of you pricing appropriately?
Yeah. Talking about charging your worth is less about dollars and more about self-worth. So taking care of your mental health, your physical health, your sense of self-respect, having clear boundaries, being able to communicate them calmly and consistently, honoring your commitments, right? Especially to yourself. All of these things are what are your worth. So when I need to charge what I'm worth, work on your self-worth first. That's why the word worth is coming up, because if you are undercharging, let's say to be competitive in your industry of like, oh, I got to get the business instead of Susie down the street.
Right.
Susie down the street is charging 200 an hour, so let me charge 150, or let me charge 100, or let me charge 75, or let me charge 55, or just let me race to the bottom so that I win, being the cheapest show in town. You don't have far to go, and that's the problem with the race to the bottom is you'll get there. You'll be giving it away for free and still wondering why you're not worthy of the business. But that's because you were aiming from the bottom rather than aiming for the top. And when you're confident, when you respect yourself and your investment to show up in the first place, you'll always aim up rather than down, because don't forget how much you paid to be here, how much you paid to get the glasses of intelligence, aka your certifications, your diplomas, etc. How much you paid to show up. If you remember your own, if you believe that you are worthy already, if the topic and your expertise was worthy enough for you to invest, wouldn't you be open to aiming up rather than down? But I think especially as I've delivered my sales goddess and sales chakra trainings over the years for spiritual business owners who want to elevate and begin charging high ticket, which for me is minimum 5,000 per unit sold.
Mm-hmm.
That's the first thing that tends to come up, is that you don't have a sales problem, you have a self-worth problem.
Yeah. And if this conversation is kind of making you feel like, I feel like I'm selling myself, I feel like, especially when you were talking about being the cheapest show in town or giving it away for free, you might have had some other ideas come up in your mind about the kinds of things that could be given away for free, could be cheaply available. And it might not have felt right. In fact, you might have gotten a little bit of the ick or even disgust around charging anything at all. And Victoria, I know you've done a good amount of research in this particular area, and especially with your sales goddess training. What's going on for a person when they feel disgust around charging?
Yeah. So especially around that sense of, oh, I don't want to sell myself, or I feel uncomfortable selling myself. That kind of language comes from sexual trauma,
Mm.
and the prostitution mindset of, okay, it conflates the idea of selling your professional services as the services of like a sexual professional, with respect to sex workers, by the way,
Mm-hmm.
which is totally a viable profession. We are not speaking to you sisters in particular and brothers in that business, but we're talking to the sisters who have their own expertise and abilities to sell, but they have this sense of, as you were saying, Nettie, disgust or fear around it, of placing a dollar amount on the exchange of their hours. And that disgust is actually coming from protecting your life.
Mm.
There is a sense of danger that comes from exchanging hours for dollars. And many of us come up through that paradigm of, you get an hourly wage.
Mm-hmm.
But let's not forget what hours are. That is your life. So you're giving your life for dollars. And so that deep rooted sense of, ugh, I hate charging, or I hate being able, there's this sense of you're trying to protect yourself from being sold or
Mm-hmm.
being controlled as a commodity. Now, if that resonates with anyone listening in, be kind to yourself. Again, that's more of the inner work, detaching and separating your worth, your own intrinsic value, or your sense of safety and self from dollars, right? Many women over centuries have been driven to exchange their bodies, right? And time for money. But that doesn't mean that you have to out of desperation charge for what you do. Like, capitalism doesn't require you to be a slave or to sacrifice your freedom in order to make money out of a desperate state. That's the wrong spirit
Right.
to be approaching this with. Instead, you want to approach the idea of charging. And I know we're going deep on this because that's my specialty. Grab a floaty if you're worried. Ew. Or get, your scuba gear, because we're diving in. Boo-hoo. Right? So, but with that, you want to find a way to focus on money that in a way that isn't demonizing you having it, or
Mhm.
isn't you have to be dirty in order to get it. Instead, making good money could be spiritual. Making good money could be proof positive that you are helping people and making positive influence and impact in the world. Not that you have officially become dirty, like a daddy warbucks, like evil rich person, or that you've sold your soul in order to the devil in order to get make $1 out of 15 cents. No, no, no. You've made $1 out of 15 cents because you are aligned with the force of creation that says, go forth and multiply. You are aligned with growth and abundance and healing and expansion for all those around you. Rather than shame, it is spirit that drives your sales. Be kind to yourself. If you're getting the ick, that is, if you're a spiritual person, could be a past life issue. I don't really look into past lives. There's plenty of mess going on in this life for you to have like issues and fears with receiving money, or what your parents said, your grandparents, TV, media, yada, yada. But the shift needs to go from being scared around sales to seeing the sales and the money as something sacred. It's the same group of 5 letters. You just switch a couple. And it's a mindset shift. Yeah.
So we started out here talking about how you might be apologizing before giving an invoice, saying the price, or otherwise, communicating what it's going to cost a person to work with you. And the antidote is exactly what you're talking about. It's doing this inner healing work. It's confronting why you might be having this fear come up. It's not to price yourself lower. It's not to give them every discount that is, possibly available. It's actually to really lean into saying the difficult thing, holding the line, expressing that what might feel a little scary, and even maybe asking for a little bit more. Everyone that I've ever talked through this process, whenever they've said the thing that scares them the most, maybe they've only ever charged $200 for something, and then they offer the client and say it's going to cost $2,000. The client has said yes without hesitation every single time. And I'm not talking about you inflating your price for no reason, or making some outrageous, like statement that doesn't feel aligned. But if we're talking about something that's already a mismatch, where you're delivering a high amount of value, what the client needs, you have the expertise, you're being honest and reputable, and you finally say the price that makes sense for those things, I have yet to see a client walk away when those things are true. And it's just you coming up to that space. And then once you say it and you gain the confidence that comes with the client saying yes and moving forward and doing the work, then it becomes much easier the next time that you offer and you do start extracting that apology before you deliver it. Because as a client, do you really want the person in front of you to say, oh, sorry, this is what it costs? You're already just setting the tone for the engagement as this isn't worth it. And we don't want that for you or for your client that you're about to do amazing work with.
Oh, 100%. So, and what I love, what you touched on there, Nettie, is who the payment is really about. Regardless of what you're charging, it's not about you taking their money. The sale is actually about the buyer, the client, investing in themselves. And I know everyone uses that phrase now, but I want to sink our teeth a little bit deeper into that concept, because think of the last time you yourself as a woman had the courage to buy the expensive thing for yourself. Of like, oh, I got I got a first class seat for the first time, or oh, I got the nice hotel room, or oh, I went and I got that purse, or I got those shoes, or I got that pair of earrings, or oh, I decided I wanted to go for my master's, right? Or I got a thing for myself, or okay, I got the facial or whatever. Let's say dental work. So when you had to go for dental work, were you thinking, let me go on, I'm sorry, Craigslist
Oh,
and find the person who's charging as close to $20 as possible, because I need a root canal, but I don't want to spend a lot of money. And if you found that $20 dentist on Craigslist or even Facebook Marketplace, and you had the $20 and you really needed a root canal, would you be like, in full confidence, absolutely, oh, they have 20,000 5-star ratings doing $20 root canals on Facebook Marketplace, on Craigslist, would you be like, oh yeah, I'm going? Every piece of you is like, no, absolutely not. Self-preservation. No, let me go to a real dentist. Just because that dentist is cheap doesn't mean that they're great or doing you a favor. Where are they cutting corners is where what your intuition, your spidey senses would be like, the oh hell no would be going off. The same is true. Okay, so you invest to get good dental work done. You buy quality, you only cry once. It's your teeth. You're worth it. Worth it. I'm worth it. I tell myself I'm worth it. Okay, I got to pay for it. Oh, because it's medical. Oh, because it's my teeth. Insert reason. But at the same time, we'll give that same grace to others while we're handing the credit card, while we're writing the check and giving the money. But when the table is turned as women, what are we doing? What are we doing? We think, oh, I can't take your money. I should be ashamed of myself. No, no, no. The table turned around. So picture that the person, your potential client, is just like that person looking for a trustworthy, fantastic dentist, or the dentist, how do you say, oral surgeon, yada, yada, top of the line, not even for herself, but for her kids, right? Bring the mother element in that of I'll do anything for my kids, right?
mm-hmm.
So wouldn't you want to convey to her, yes, I got you. Yes, I know what I'm doing. And yes, you are worth it. So that when she pays you, it's a statement to herself about, I'm protecting myself. I'm making the right decision. I am a top shelf person. I pay for top shelf treatment. Or I only get the best for myself and my family, for myself and my team. I want the best. Let them pay you at the level of the best rather than pay you at the threshold of your shame.
Ooh, it's so, I can feel it. I can feel that in my body as you're sharing it. The other thing that I'm feeling is our audience thinking at this moment, but she's a mother and she has children and she's carrying so much. And here's my opportunity to save her, to help reduce the price, to make it easier for her. And so without even having the request come of, hey, this is more than I can afford, that service provider is already offering the discount to be the helper, to be the savior of the person across from them. And here is your next, directive to stop. If the person did not ask for a discount, you do not provide a discount. They may have in their mind that they were willing to pay you 5 times as much. You have no idea. They may have received a windfall. They may have a fabulous insurance plan. They may have all sorts of things that are available to make sure that this service and that is taken care of, and they're taken care of. Do not offer the discount as the first line. And even if they say, wow, I can't afford that in that amount today, it's not an invitation to make it less. It's an invitation to provide a way that they can afford it, right? It could be a payment plan. It could be a trade of some kind. There's options here which make it work for you and the other person, and you're coming together and you're communicating. But at no point do we diminish the value of what is on the table and what is being offered, and lower the worth of that.
Yeah.
So I want to talk a little bit about, we've talked about, why we're not charging what we're worth. I'm putting that in air quotes, what the product or service is worth. We've talked about this false belief of being able to equate, a dollar amount to your worth. And we've really gone deep on that mindset part of it. But if somebody here is listening, yeah, that's great. But I really just need to know, how do I price this? I'm just at a loss, right? Maybe you are new in this industry, or maybe, you have always received a paycheck and you're just not even sure what goes into pricing. Can we speak a little bit to, like, what are some of those factors? So I'd like to just share some of the things that I consider when I'm thinking about the price of something. Not for nothing, what does it cost you to deliver that service? What are your expenses in your business? What do you need to earn or bring home in order for you to be able to deliver this? And, the roof over your head, the food on your plate, all of those things, especially as a solopreneur, that's directly tied to what you're pricing. And if you only ever deliver that thing once, then it's going to have to carry a lot of weight in its price. If you deliver something multiple times, then you can spread that out a little bit more, and it doesn't need to pull as much weight in its pricing. But number one, what does it cost you to deliver that thing? What do you need to deliver it? And then, equally important, what is the value to your customer? We've been speaking about this some, but what value is it for them to solve that problem that you're able to solve? If it is a value that it saves their life, and they have no other solution, then they might be interested in paying you more to solve that problem, solve it well, solve it quickly, solve it completely. Not that you ridiculously overcharge them, but understand the value to your customer. And then there's other stuff. You went to school, or you developed this skill set, you have expertise that took time. I once worked with a client that when we put in all of the factors, we were able to discern that she was actually bringing home less than $20 an hour. And that was for a very well-established, reputable, highly trained professional. So it's really important to look at pulling all those pieces together so you can understand, is this, like, $20 an hour wasn't going to pay the roof over her head. It wasn't going to pay for the cost of running her business. It wasn't going to pay for food on the table. It was so little. And it was really problematic. So make sure that you're considering the full scope of what brought you to here, and the cost to go into it. How long does it take you to deliver? What's the effort that's going to be required on your part? There's just a lot of factors that you can think about that go beyond, like, oh, you know what? If I sell 10 widgets, I want to bring home $1,000. And so they're $100 each. You could be supremely undervaluing it, or supremely overestimating how many you can sell at that particular price point. And the last point I want to make here is that it is important to consider your sales capability, right? You don't want to pigeonhole yourself into having to sell 1,000 of something. If it's just you and you don't have a mechanism for doing that, right? So it could be just as problematic to charge $10 for an item if you have to sell so many in order to make the income that's needed to cover all of those things that we just talked about.
Yeah. What I've seen is that a lot of women will look to the right and look to the left to see what are the people next to them charging, and go with a price that can kind of hide amongst the other providers in her area, her industry, etc. And that is not how you charge your true worth, like what you're capable of. Because instead of looking to the side, what you want to do is look inside, because that's where the value, the gold mine is. Sure, it's important to do your market research, absolutely, so that you're rooted in reality. But you also want to increase the value that you are delivering so that you lead with a profit first mindset, and you aim to make a living wage, not just get by or just to cover your costs. Yes, absolutely understand the costs of what it is to deliver. Most people don't even think of that. They don't think of gas. They don't think of the light, the rent, the etc. when they're pricing out their coaching package. But especially for those sisters in business who are watching this, and you're not just selling things, but you're selling your intellectual property, your expertise, your ability to serve and show up and make change. That type of an offer takes a different approach than just having the like when I used to work in printing, it was like, you get the pen before we print on it. This is how much it costs for us to get the pen, and then you price it up times 3 to 5, and that's how we make a pro. That's not like, this is a different approach when you are selling your services and expertise, and that's where I believe we come in.
Mm-hmm.
You need to have people who can, like myself and Nettie, who can not only help you shift your mindset, your own personal mindset and issues around money and receiving it, so that it's de-emotionalized, so you're in that state of confidence and power and detachment. Let the buyer be as emotional as they need to. You, however, need to be clear of, this is what it is. The sky is blue. It's 5
Mm-hmm.
o'clock.
Right.
This is how much it costs. It's $5,000. It's $50,000. It's $500,000. De-emotionalize your relationship with money, but you want to work with, the only reason why I feel comfortable selling and receiving high ticket is because I've worked with others. And so that's where Nettie and I come in, where we can help you get clear on what is the holistic picture of the actual cost of what you are delivering, as well as what is the holistic picture of why you are not charging at the level that you're really called to now at this age and stage. And we can come together and support you in that. If that's something that speaks to you, that you're ready to go bigger in a sustainable, grounded, and aligned way, go ahead, comment the word connect below, and Nettie and I will reach out to you in a 3-way LinkedIn DM to set up a call so we can see about that.
I would love to. And if you are listening to this and you're like, you know what, I would be willing to have that conversation publicly, we would be happy to have you come on. It's certainly a discussion that, as you can hear, a lot of women face. And, we're here to help support you. You can drop the word coach below and we'll help you navigate to being able to be coached here live with us. Next time, we are going to be talking about this additional kind of pieces about pricing and about profitability And this additional piece is really about how you spend your time. So we talked about time being an exchange of your life. And so how are you spending that time? Is what you're doing moving your work and your business and your life forward, or do you feel like you're just staying busy? So we're going to get into this concept. We might drop the P word, productivity, and what's your P word?
Dare I say? That's the secret, Victoria's secret.
And we're really going to look at your system of success that will work for you. So join us next week, Wednesday at 3:30. We would love to see you back here on Wake Up Women Leaders.
If you've gotten to the end of this podcast episode, woo! Thank you for tuning in. Make sure you hit like and share it on your favorite platforms so that you spread the love to all those women leaders that we want to see wake up out there. We'll see you next time, everyone. Bye for now.